Hey comic book fans, Kevin Gibbon with you once again. I'm going to give you my review of Terminator Dark Fate. Remember to check out my reviews on the two sites, Comics for Sinners as well as Comic Crusaders websites. I also have columns. Look up my new book, Comics, Pop Culture, and Politics. Keep your politics out of my franchises. Also, the trade paperback for Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter Dracula Rising. It's all up on Amazon. Check it out. There'll be links to my stuff in the comments below, including posters, t-shirts, whatever. Check all that out. And of course, check out my other videos. We talk about comic books and comic book related movies, as well as books and other great stuff. But right now, let's get into the review. Major spoiler alert. The film opens with another Terminator, played by Schwarzenegger, sent back in time to kill John Connor, and that's Edward Furlong. Only this time, he succeeds. Yes, that's right. They took the entire history of the franchise. The whole purpose of the franchise was to keep John Connor alive, to be the leader of this great resistance, and in this film, he's killed in less than 10 minutes of the movie. Then we go back to the future, where a human Terminator hybrid named Grace is sent back in time to protect a young girl named Danny, who will become the leader of the resistance, this time instead of John Connor. Another Terminator, the Rev 9, played by Gabriel Luna, is also sent back, only he's sent back to kill Danny. After John Connor was killed, apparently Skynet is no more, but a new artificial intelligence called Legion took over and is the new threat to humanity. Our female heroes duck and dodge the new Terminator and also come in contact with the Terminator that killed John, who has, since killing John, become integrated into society. He calls himself Carl and has even raised a family. Now here's my review. So many critics are saying that this is the best Terminator since T2. It's not. Terminator 3 is a much better film than this. First big mistake, killing John Connor. That move alone nullifies the entire series. Remember Alien 3? It wasn't a badly made movie, but it suffered from killing off all the survivors of the second film, which upset fans of the franchise. I mean, this isn't a cheap horror knockoff of Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, where a group of one-dimensional nameless entities who survived the previous film and have no personality get killed off. These are iconic characters that fans of their respective franchises have grown to know and care about. Therefore, I say, before I even see any box office, that this film is going to tank. It may have a big opening weekend, but of course that was this past weekend as of my recording this, and it did not. $29 million box office, only a couple million more than Terminator Genisys, and I do not believe this film will make Terminator Genisys made. Again, here's another franchise pandering to woke politics. It has to kill the leader of the resistance because he's a white male, and they don't want him to grow up to be an old white dude that leads the resistance. So now it's a young female that they have to protect. She's the nameless entity that has no personality in this film. Oh, Rise tries her best given the material she's inherited. The problem is, once again, in the material. She's one-dimensional. She's also too small. In one laughable scene, she's holding a weapon that if it were real, she wouldn't be able to budge it. The thing is almost as big as she is. Remember in the second Terminator, John Connor wasn't your average, ordinary, everyday dude. He was pretty much an a-hole that robbed ATMs in order to cut school and go to the arcade. But what would you expect from a kid whose mother is locked up in a loony bin and is passed around from foster home to foster home? A complete lack of parental guidance. It's only after they break his mother out and he realizes that she isn't nuts that he becomes well-adjusted. But here, we learn nothing original about Danny other than she's the MacGuffin that needs protection. They killed off John Connor for this. Grace and the Rev 9 had potential as they are different from the Terminator counterparts in previous films. But none of that potential is really explored to any depth here. Arnold has been reduced to something slightly more than a cameo. He was the star of 4 of the previous 5 films and couldn't star in Salvation because he was the governor of California at the time. But they did use his likeness in that movie for an effective scene. And of course, he can't be the star of this one because he's an old white dude. He has to step aside for the ladies. Now, I have no problem with strong female leads, as anyone who reads my columns knows. But I do have a problem with disrespecting the source material. Again, if you read my columns, you'd know that. Creating a strong female lead is one thing, and I'm all for it. But pandering to woke politics just to rewrite franchise history doesn't sit well with me. But what about the action? Does that at least save the film? Yes and no. Tim Miller gives us some great set pieces and action, but it only seems to half work here. Some scenes are exciting, but others kind of fall flat. The plane crash scene, so prominent in the trailer, did not pick up the pace for me at all. The best part of this film is the chemistry between Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger. These veterans of the franchise know how to steal the show and were the only time I felt invested in this film-going experience. It was a smart move bringing Hamilton back, as she's the only character in the film that in any way acts human. Grace is supposed to be a human Terminator hybrid, but you wouldn't know it here. Her moves are mostly robotic and she shows very little emotion. Not enough fear or anger at the things that are happening to her and around her. At least Salvation and Genesis took a few chances and tried to be different. But here, another Terminator comes back in time to destroy a future resistance leader. Even the way he was destroyed was stolen from T3. Meh. I give this one 2 stars, 4.6 rating. If you love comics as much as I do, you're going to subscribe to my channel. I review comics for Comic Crusaders. I also have my own franchises, Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi and Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. They're available on Comics Central, Indie Planet, and Comixology. Check them out. Stay tuned to this broadcast for more information. Also, like the Facebook pages for each franchise for more information. Check out my Patreon site for some neat original artwork and shows that you won't find on YouTube. And that was our look at comic book reviews for this week. Until next time, this is Kevin Gibbons saying so long and keep reading those comics.